Hello guys, so I think it's been a while since we've reviewed a graphic card in this channel. So today we are going to look at the colourful Battle Axe 3070 Ti. I bought this GPU actually for 3,700 ringgit or around 1,000 USD, which is around a 30% hike compared to the MSRP. Now the unboxing experience is actually very basic. It comes with an instruction manual and this as an extra accessory. This is actually a 2 8-pin to 1 12-pin adapter, which is usually only reserved for Founder Edition cards. Now this is actually a very large card. I'm surprised because this is the cheapest card in the colourful lineup and they still gave us a pretty beefy heatsink and triple fan. The exact dimensions of the card are as follows on screen. And this is the base and the boost clock of this GPU. But ignore this as during the overclock section of this review that we can see that this graphic card is clearly capable of better. Now in terms of the aesthetics, I'm really glad that Colourful went with a neutral colour scheme, which is around white, silver, grey, black, and just a dash of red here and there. The backplate is also made of metal, so it's good. It's helps in heat dissipation, and then the other thing is that it also makes the card more solid feeling and more rigid, because I really hate plastic backplate. Now on the other hand, the fan shroud is actually made of plastic, but it really doesn't matter because the fan shroud doesn't really affect as far as heat dissipation, so functionally there's no difference between the metal and the plastic fan shroud. On the front there are also 3 fans, all spinning in the same direction. All the 3 are 90mm fans. Now another thing that is common between the 30 series is it has a very short PCB. I mean, this also applies to my previous 3080 Trinity, and this is no exception. The PCB is only half of the length of the cooler. I wonder if this helps to save cost or does it help with heat dissipation. I'm not sure, but it's a trend of 30 series cards. So another weird thing is that this GPU uses a 12-pin socket similar to the Founders Edition. So maybe the PCB is the same as the Founders? I'm not sure about that. But what I do dislike is that you have to use this silly adapter and you cannot use your cable sleeve or cable extension or things like that. So it can cause aesthetic issues. Now on to the acoustics. Now I know what you're thinking, man, 100% is super loud. No, it's not. You need to compare with my Zotac 3070. Now that's loud. Honestly, I think comparing the two, I think the colourful 3070 Ti is much better. The fan actually has a lower hum, and because the heatsink is better, it doesn't have to ramp up so much. 75% and below, I think the sound is quite acceptable. Alright, so now we're actually running Unigen Heaven. So we can see right now it's already at the 12th scene. So we are going to see, this is the GPU right now. So we are going to see how high the temperature will go. Right now the temperature is hovering around 75 to 76 C. So we'll wait until the test is over to see the max temperature of this GPU. So far this is end of the test. This is the test result lah. We can see that the max temperature is actually reaching up to 77. Luckily it doesn't reach 80, so I would say that is quite a pass. But keep in mind that when I was testing any GPU, I'm always using a open test case, or more like an open test case, as I don't put the side panel on. So maybe if you're putting the side panel on, the temperature could reach up to 80. It is very possible. So this is the test running again with the undervolt. As you can see, the temperature barely reaches 60, not even 70. In fact, it's now ranging around 66 to 70. Okay, so we're getting a slightly better score, but what is confirmed is that we are definitely getting better thermal and temperature. So this is, I think, my final test. I don't think I can go further after this. So right now we're running at 2100 megahertz at 1000 millivolt. So we are going to see if this survives the benchmark. Man, I can hardly believe it, but this cheap ass 3070 Ti, look at the score. Look at it. Nice, right? Even now there's quite a significant difference between the stock one. So this is actually the summary lah. I would say that undervolting is compulsory on this GPU. You get lower temperature at the same performance, or if you want higher performance, you still do minimal undervolting up to 1000 millivolt, and then you can do the core overclock up to 2100, but it will stabilize around 2085. The power consumption will also be dramatically reduced compared to the stock 278 watt. You can undervolt up to 900 millivolt and use only 217 watt, or you can choose like me and run a slightly lesser undervolt, only 1000 millivolt, but then achieve a higher boost clock of 2085. Honestly, I would say with this 3070 Ti, undervolting I would say is compulsory. Just do it. It takes very little time. Now on to the software. Don't expect much. Until the end of the day, I still cannot figure out how to set a fixed color for my GPU. The ARGB on this GPU is also extremely ordinary. I mean, honestly, if RGB is your thing, get some other GPU. To show you how janky is the software that you need to actually download, this is from the official website, from a Google Drive link, not an official website. And then even the manual is not in PDF, it's in Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, conclusion time. What do I think about the graphic card? I think that it's quite difficult for me to judge whether or not you should buy this GPU because the current state of the GPU market. Because when I purchasing a product, I always consider the performance versus the price. This is especially for graphic card and processors. So right now the prices are a bit expensive even right now as of July 2021. However, I will say this, right now even AIB are already increasing the prices. So if you're comparing it to 2020 prices, forget it. In terms of how much you pay for this graphic card, I think if you can get it around 800 to 900 US dollar, I think that's a very fair price. I think 800 would be a more fair price for this GPU. Now, how about the gaming performance? Now, I did not include the gaming performance in this benchmark because I already seen a lot of very good reviews, especially from Hardware Unbox and Gamer Nexus, regarding performance of this graphic card at various resolutions involving various games. So if you want to see specific resolution or gaming performance, you can check out their review. As far as this colorful 3070 Ti, how is the performance? I think as far as the thermal performance at stock is quite bad, because I think the power usage is not quite as efficient as I would have hoped. But undervolting, as you can see, the power consumption reduced dramatically, and the temperature of course improves a lot, because at stock it reaches around 81 degrees Celsius, but undervolting it just range around 65 to 67 in an open test case. As far as the overclock, I would also consider, actually I was pleasantly surprised. I did not know if I got a good bin GPU, but the overclock performance is very good. In fact, after I did this review, I searched online and I compared it with other graphic card. I compared it with an Asus Strix 3070 Ti, and I saw that the boosting performance is actually very similar. This graphic card boosted to around 2050 and 2070, while the Asus Strix boosted to around 2070 to 2100, around that much. So I mean, consider the Asus Strix is a top end card from Asus, and this colorful is the bottom range card from colorful. I think the performance is actually very decent. Actually, I'm super happy with this graphic card. It's one of the moments where I bought a graphic card and I'm expecting, oh no, this is going to be a bottom end, the overclock performance is going to be shit, but it's not. It's actually quite a good performing graphic card. Now, in terms of aesthetics, I really like new aesthetic that Colorful is going for. Sometimes these Chinese manufacturers, they try too hard. That is what I think. They try too hard to be different, to look unique, and sometimes looks funny. Like the graphic card actually looks super funny. You should always just go for a clean design. Don't go super fancy. I mean, compared to the previous Battle X design, this is miles better. Now, there's also the issue of the 12-pin power supply lah. I think it's a bit unique, as I've seldom seen a graphic card outside of the Founders Edition using the 12 pin, but I think it's quite unnecessary. I mean, now you have to use an adapter and such. You cannot use your sleeve cables. What's the point? But it is small, and maybe in the future that when PSU has dedicated 12 pin power supply, there might be some uses, especially if you're using a small form factor case. Anyway, I have nothing else to add. Otherwise, if you guys like this video, do the usual YouTube stuff, you know, like, subscribe my channel, help a fellow Southeast Asian YouTuber out, and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, if you find it useful, also share the video. Ciao, see you guys next time.